What is up, everybody? Welcome to day 2 of 75 Hard. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, today was a day. It is so incredible to think that time can pass by so quickly. And I noticed that being more and more true the older that I get. Still young though. But it's incredible that when you wake up early and you start your day and you put so many things in it, you get to the end and you're just so grateful to be there. I did all that I could today. And that sleep later, boy, let me tell you something, that's about to hit. I'm about to, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to be out all the way. But today was a great day. My brother and I met at the gym. It was so funny. We pulled in at the exact same time without communicating that with each other. It was wonderful. And before I begin to break down the day, I just want to talk like this, what this is, you know? I can see in the future some days being rough. I admire and have so much respect for people that make a decision and are able to stick to it, as well as learning to adapt in the middle of that process. One of the things, I wrote this poem the other day about change and consistency as seen by the sun and the moon. We see that change brings change, but consistency changes your very nature. All that to say that the sun and the moon, they encourage each other. Change brings consistency, consistency brings change. And I see that being true in just the gym today. My brother and I, we don't see much happening right now, but if we stay consistent, we will see change. And it's the change that we see that keeps us consistent. And it's wonderful, it's a blessing, and it's difficult. After our first workout, we hit legs today, and it was a good workout. It was a good workout. I came back home, ate my breakfast, we did our Bible study together. Y'all, and I went and took a nap. When I got up from that nap, I did not want to go work out. I didn't. I was like, crap, dude. We got another workout today. And it's only day 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm already so tired. But I know that there's a hump, right? There's a hump that my body will get to a point where it knows that it can. Right now I'm having to push so much, but my body knows that it can. But I just have to share a testimony from today. So after the gym, I come home, I take my nap, wake up from my nap. I had a tire appointment. My car, I love her to death. Her name's Esmeralda, but she needs some loving. You feel me? Front windows cracked, busted up. I had to get new tires. The engine, there's a timing issue, so it has a rough idle sometimes. And for a long time, I didn't take care of my car the way that it needed to be taken care of. And so I didn't have the money to buy 4 tires at the time, so I just bought 2. And this was many months ago, and they told me, you have wires showing on your back 2 tires, you should get them changed as soon as possible. Me, okay, yeah, whatever, right? Fast forward to this last week, I got my paycheck. Saturday, I went into the shop. I said, hey, I need 2 tires. Boom, boom, boom. What day do you want to set it up? Let's do it Tuesday. All right, we'll get you on Tuesday at 1 o'clock. So that's today. So I wake up from my nap and I'm driving to the tire shop. And I'm like, that's something don't sound right. Like, I knew my tire was a little flat because I didn't want to pump it up so extremely full with ice being on the road and bumps and potholes everywhere. I don't want to hit it and pop it, right? So I was like, I'm okay with it being a little flat. But here I am on the freeway. It was about a 5-mile drive there. And I'm running a little bit late. I would have made it there on time, but I decided to get in the fast lane. And I just like, hold on, something don't sound like this is, my car don't drive like this, something's wrong. I get ready to take my exit. I get all the way to the exit lane. I'm coming off the exit ramp. Boom. My tire blows up. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, that just happened. I knew it happened. It's so weird when you're so in tune with yourself or the things around you. And it's so weird because I find a lot of similarities between my car and myself. When you're so in tune and you know something's wrong, you don't even know exactly how bad it is, but you know that something happened. So I pull over on the exit ramp. I get out and I look at my tire. It's completely flat, sitting on the rim. And I was just caught. I was aghast. I was like, that just happened. But almost immediately I became overwhelmed with gratitude and joy. And I just had to praise the Lord on the side of the freeway. I had a smile on my face in a situation that didn't look so good. Why did I have a smile? Well, one, before I did anything, I grabbed the phone, I called them, and I said, hey, this just happened. I'm about a mile away. They said, don't worry about it. You'll be here. We'll take care of you. Cool. I knew that I had a jack in my car. I had everything I needed to change my tire. I've done it many times. It wasn't a big issue for me. But then I just started to think about how bad the situation could have been. When tires blow up, you might not get so lucky. Mine, the tire had worn so thin, and it from being flat and the added pressure on it, that it caused it to separate. So it didn't just blow up, the whole sidewall came off the tire. That might have been what saved me, honestly. Well, it was really God that saved me. But when I'm going 70 in the fast lane on this flat tire, if it would have happened then, if it would have happened miles back, there's so many different situations where it could have been so much worse. But the fact that I made it to the exit ramp, that I made it out of harm's way, that nobody else was hurt, the fact that my rim didn't bend at all, so when they put the new tire back on, it wasn't no issues. The fact that it could have been so bad, but God. And I was on my way to the tire shop. You know, sometimes we really be, you know what I'm saying, we really be waiting to the last second. But God protected me in my let's just say ignorance. I didn't even want to get new tires, but he just put it in my head. You got extra money this paycheck, get new tires, you need them. And I say all that because it made me realize some things. I still need an oil change. I gotta get one of those. I got about 1,000 miles left, whatever. But when it comes to a car, there are certain things that need to be done regularly. The most frequent being filling up your gas tank. Right? You need to do that in order to go, in order to drive. And that can be filled all the time. It doesn't have to be empty to be filled. The oil needs to be changed. Spark plugs needs to be changed, right? Eventually, the more driving you do, the tires will need to be changed, right? If things break, you have to fix them. But what happens when the car gets so bad that you can't fix everything at once? That's kind of the situation that I got into. I allowed my car to become so broken. It still drives, but I can't fix everything at once. And if you think about that situation as me, the individual, I had become so broken. And there's so many things that I wanted to fix, but I didn't have the resources to do it all at once. And so I just want to encourage some people out there that this right here, the Word of God, is like our gasoline. It's something that we need to fill ourselves with every single day. And just with the car, you don't have to go empty to be filled again. So that was the first part for me, is recognizing that I need God each and every day. The next part, when it comes to big projects like a rough idle, like my car not starting sometimes, like the front window, the way that I see being broken, We got to fix those things, but it's not something, because it's such an expensive fix, that can just happen if you don't have the resources for it, right? And so what we come to learn in those moments is that some challenges in life, like dealing with trauma, overcoming anxiety, regaining trust in people, it takes a lot of our resources. It takes a lot of our time, energy, and effort. When those things get fixed, it takes a day, a couple days. Sometimes the mechanic has to diagnose the problem before they can even start to address it. Sometimes they might find symptoms and it's not actually the root cause. Do you understand what I'm saying? In our lives, there are so many things that have gone wrong, not because it was wrong, but because something caused it to go that way. But the truth is, now you have to fix all of it because of one thing that broke. But don't try to do it all at once. I love this saying. It says, Rome wasn't built in a day. I added on to it, but it wasn't also built eventually. Like, you have to be intentional about the things that you're doing. This is so random. I might have ADHD for real. But I wanted to say, I was thinking about this earlier, that these videos is really just like me talking to myself. It really is. I literally am talking to myself, or to a camera, I guess. But it's like my diary, if you will, my vlog of the experience. I think about David and how there was a pastor that said he wasn't just a critic to himself, he was also a coach. The way David was able to encourage himself through prayer. The power of life and death is in the tongue. So the way that we speak to ourselves ought to be better. And so that's what this kind of is. It's a way of me being able to speak to myself, to be able to, and if it blesses somebody else, that's wonderful. But to pray, to speak life, to have revelation, to be encouraged. I am a verbal processor. These videos ain't nothing compared to what my voice memos knows. I got hours in there of me just talking, to process, to deal with life. Sometimes the stuff comes up and it's so raw, it's unfiltered, and I haven't even thought of it. It's literally a thought. So that might happen here. Who knows? I will say that now that I've begun speaking, I'm a lot less tired than I was earlier. Man, I'm so tired. Like, I'm telling y'all, it's 7:47. I'm just waiting till about 8:15, 8:30, and I'm out of here. I remember last night I went to bed that early. Shoot. But I am excited. I am excited because there's growth. But to get to some more real practical things, I overestimated how much I would be able to do daily. Kind of like the car. I was trying to fix the windshield and the doors and the spark plugs, fill up gas, change the oil, put a new windshield wiper fluid, wash it. Like, I was trying to do all that every single day. And what I've come to realize is that is not sustainable. It's not sustainable because we have a limited capacity, limited resources, limited abilities and availability. Because becoming a robot strips me of my humanity. Yes, I want to be disciplined, but I also need to live. I'm writing a book right now, and that was one thing that I was really hoping to dive into and to work on during this journey. But I was like, I'm going to do it every single day on top of everything else that I was going to work on. And not to say that I still don't want to do it. I'm just understanding it might not be an everyday thing. It might be a couple times a week. It might be on my days off of work. I can do that. But this, reading my word, that's an everyday thing. This, practicing writing, random scripts, that's an everyday thing. Spending time in prayer and reflecting, these videos, It's an everyday thing. And when you realize that this is something you're doing every day, and that's filling your time, that's pulling from you already, you don't have capacity to do big projects every day. Maybe one every other day or every week. Whatever it is, I'm learning through this journey, through this process, a lot about myself, a lot about surrendering my wants. Yeah, that one hit hard right there. Again, this is me processing in the moment, so a lot of this stuff I haven't thought about. But surrendering my wants. The Lord told me a week and a half ago that discipline is not just about pushing through it. It's about surrendering your wants for what you've committed to. This journey is something that I've committed to. And when it gets hard, when it's easier than I thought it would be, when I'm bored and I'm looking for change, I can be reminded that change is happening in my consistency, though it may not look the way that I thought it would, though it may not be happening the way that I would have done it, it's still happening, surrendering my directions and following God's steps. I want to call this something, but I'll need to pray about it some more. Maybe a podcast in the future, I suppose. Nevertheless, there were moments today when I thought to myself, I don't know if I can do this. In full transparency. That this might be too big for me. This might be too hard. But then I just was reminded how quickly, and how quickly that thought was taken captive. Because my brother's doing it, my sister's doing it, her boyfriend's doing it. I have a community of people to lean on, and I'm not doing it alone. Trusting people is very difficult for me because I didn't realize how much I didn't trust them. Being vulnerable, honestly being vulnerable. I understand it's hard for a lot of people, but it's very difficult for me. I have no problem being transparent, but I do being vulnerable. And it's something I'm working on. What is the difference? Well, imagine my chest was made of glass and you could see my heart. It's transparent, you can see it, but you can't touch it. It's still protected, though you can see it. It's transparent. Vulnerable would look as though I had a slash through my chest, an open wound. And you could hurt me. You could affect me and change me. You could damage me more than I already am. And so you can understand how if I don't trust people, I might have a hard time being vulnerable with people. Because if I show you my scar, how do I know if I show you my wound, not my scar, a scar is healed. If I show you my wound, how do I know that you won't cause further damage? And matter of fact, do you know how to help me heal? I've built the illusion of friendship by being transparent and sharing hard truths that I've already healed from. But when I reflect, I realize that a shell of a friendship will be outgrown. For a lot of mine have. During college, I had a different friend group every single year. And it was I looked back on some of my teammates from college, how they all still connect with each other, and I recognized that they built true friendships. And how I had the opportunity to do so myself. But I allowed fear to hinder me. And I'm done living that way. I'm done. If people want to judge me, then so be it. If people choose to hurt me, then so be it. I'm not supposing that I'm just going to walk around with an open heart, an unprotected heart. But to those that I really want to get to know, to those that I share hard truths with, might I allow them in? That's what I'm trying to do. So thank you. Thank you, Noah, for letting God lead you. Letting God lead you. Just enunciate that. Because everything you've wanted, you've searched for, and you've never found it. Tell a man who's blind to travel the world and find one particular thing of a certain color. Tell a man with no hands to search until the end, to feel with his fingers. It is not possible. And so be it true for you and me too, that if you find your own life, you will lose it. But if you lose your life for good and for the kingdom, you will find it. I'm learning that God knows the desires of my heart. God knows my love language. God knows how to speak to me better than any other person I know. He desires good for me, and he's never going to change his mind about wanting me to change. And so if all of that be true, then it be in my best interest to allow him to lead me. And I know it's not easy. I know it's going to be difficult. But it's worth it. And it's worth it. And when it's hard, it's worth it. And when I cry because I don't know how I got there, it's worth it. You find your way out of a labyrinth wearing a mask of trauma. You find the path to healing. It's not possible. It's not a coincidence that hindsight is 2020, because when you look back, everything makes sense. If we're looking forward into a reflection and the mirror is broken, we are always going to be led astray. But let us reflect Jesus, the perfect mirror, who leads us in the right direction even when it doesn't make sense. I trust in the Lord, and I will allow him to lead me, to guide me, and to order my steps. I told you guys that this was going to be raw, unadulterated, honest truth. Maybe in the future we'll get some more into this, and I'm hoping so. Maybe even some videos of the day, who knows. But God is good. No matter how tired I am, I've noticed in the 2 days I've done this, when I come here, I'm not anymore. Testifying about how good God is and all the things that He's done for me is just filling my gas tank when it's empty. So until tomorrow, I love you. Stay blessed. Peace.